It's no longer Dame time. I know some people might think that it can still be Dame time, but him and Giannis have now been together for 2 full seasons. And Toddy, the question I have to ask you is: will we ever see Damian and Giannis in the playoffs together?
It's been very unfortunate the way how things have transpired because I remember when Damon first got traded to Milwaukee, I called you instantly like, Kev, Dame's going. I got to worry about the Bucks again. It's Dame and Giannis, this, that, and the third. And that was when they had Adrian Griffith as the coach, and he was a pretty good, like. Well, I know we'll get into Taylor Jenkins later, but they were like one of the best teams in the East. And all of a sudden, he gets fired, and they bring in Doc Rivers, and that's kind of been the story's been with that. But last season, they were like one of the better teams in the East, kind of like how they are now. And Giannis goes out, I think, like 2 weeks before the season. And then Dame kind of gets hurt during the playoffs, and it was just kind of the Chris Middleton show, and he was balling out in that series. But yeah, and then we saw that due to the injuries in the East, the Pacers made all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, which was pretty insane. Same thing kind of this year, except Damian Lillard has got blood clots. Now, has not been ruled out for the rest of the season, but typically with blood clots, it's not something that you can kind of just, I'm feeling good. It's like, I mean, with Wembanyama, he had blood clots. They shut him down. And, Dame being an older player, even with like Chris Bosh's career was cut short due to blood clots. So I think with this situation, it's kind of Kevin has always been a guy that's been on this podcast and said life is more important than a game. Kind of going back to Greg Popovich. He had a stroke. I think he would probably have the same sentiment with Damian Lillard, albeit he's been one of the better point guards of our generation. I think he's probably going to be cut short due to this, unfortunate situation with blood clots, and it's going to hurt the Bucks tremendously. They haven't been the best playing together, like we all thought they would have, but I think, this could be it. You think of a guy in Damian Lillard. He was a guy, all NBA guy, coming from Portland, averaging north of 30 points per game. I think about 7 assists. You get paired up with a guy in Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's an MVP candidate year in and year out. Those points per game are going to go down. And it's not to get a guy in Damian Lillard, you have to trade the farm. You have to trade young guys, picks, et cetera, to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Or not a Damian Lillard. And the results haven't really shown. People were saying championship. Like they were the favorites in the East, come out in the East, make deep playoff runs, win championships. That's the reason why Damian Lillard ended up leaving Portland, because he didn't think he had a chance in the Western Conference. When you get paired up with a guy in Damian or with a guy in Giannis Antetokounmpo, all that kind of starts to go into fruition of people expect you to go to deep playoff runs, Eastern Conference Finals, NBA championships. But injuries have, kind of hindered them from getting to where they want to be. Same thing that happened with Brooklyn when they, had Kevin Durant, had James Harden, Kyrie Irving.
COVID wasn't an injury.
They played 11 games together. So playoffs came. We saw what they were capable of doing. Guys like James Harden get hurt. Kyrie goes out, ankle injury. Things are never really the same. So it's going to be very unfortunate, but I think, Giannis has voiced his opinion several times in the media saying, hey, I want to win. If it's not with the Bucks, then it is what it is.
But I want to win.
But exactly. So do you, as the Bucks GM, say, hey, let's try and get ahead of this and trade Giannis? Or I don't know what Giannis's contract situation is like. I think he may or may not have a year or two left on his contract, but he could be a guy that could just end up trying to force his way out of Milwaukee in the next couple of years, because this Dame situation hasn't really panned out the way that they thought that it should have.
I agree with you, Toddy. When we saw Damian Lillard get come onto this team, you think, oh my gosh, the Celtics now have someone to play with. The Sixers have some competition. Like Damian Lillard, this is Dame time. Alex, as a Celtic fan, what were the thoughts that you were going through your head when this duo first joined, and how now that it's played out 2020 vision, do you think we'll ever get to see them play together in the playoffs?
To answer your last question, no. However, when Damian Lillard first got there, I was very skeptical. They're both very ball dominant basketball players, and I just didn't know how that dynamic would work. Given that Milwaukee's already old, so you just added another older player. Like their bench players like Bobby Portis and the white guy that was in the dunk competition a few years ago. They're just getting a little bit older, and so I'm like, okay, you added another older player. I didn't know how that was going to work, especially playing up against a very young and upcoming Celtics team in the East. But yeah, I agree with you, all you guys. I think he's probably going to force his way out, or he's done. He's done with the Bucks, I think. I just looked online. He's under contract for at least 4 more years with a player option in 2027 and 20.
Didn't he resign? I think he might have
got that
resigned.
Supermax money. Yeah, they got Dame and he resigned.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
So who's trading the farm?
It's gonna be interesting because I'm interested to see where he goes. Like, what team could Giannis really fit into? Because the Bucks really are about him, right? And he's gonna go to a team that's not built around him. And I find that really interesting because that reminds me of Russell Westbrook, right? Like, he was really good with OKC, but that's because the system fit around him a little bit better after KD left. And yeah, who's gonna give up everything for Giannis?
I can tell you who's got the capital to do it.
No.
The Rockets.
No.
Okay, see.
Damn, if the Thunder got him, bro, that'd be nuts. But
the Thunder have literally an unlimited amount of picks. They could just. I don't think
it'll be picks, bro. I think 2 firsts and Chet will get it done.
Damn. Let me get 2 firsts and Chet. They might ask for more though.
But yeah,
you can just throw 6 picks at them.
Dame and Giannis. To answer the question, will we ever see them in the playoffs? You guys have mentioned it. I don't think we're going to see them. I think Giannis and Dame are both going to be sent out. I think we kind of saw the peak of this Milwaukee Bucks team. On that finals run, they did everything they had. You guys know it as Celtics fans. Jrue Holiday is a piece of all pieces. You put him into your team, into your lineup, he's a winner. It's going to just infect the rest of the team. And we saw that with Chris Middleton being the closer. We had Giannis, MVP, Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis, Jrue Holiday, Bobby Portis, the name goes on and on and on, Brooke Lopez. They had the core. And I feel like modern NBA, your superstar says, I'm not happy. Fuck it. We just won a championship. Let's trade the farm and let's see what we can do. Chris Middleton's no longer there. Jrue Holiday's no longer there. The next season he goes and takes the Celtics to the NBA championship. So, you give up a lot of defense with giving up Jrue, and Dame, you get a lot more offense. So in the 51 games this year, this is an all-NBA duo. Giannis averages 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists, and Damian Lillard averages 24 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. So when they are both on the court together, they are playing great. They played 116 games together. They are 73-43 with 0 playoff games. And I get it. Dame came there late in the first year where they have 2 full seasons, and they really haven't been able to show anything. We've seen Dame play. We've seen Giannis play. We have not seen them play together. When you make this move, like we were mentioning, this is something that's going to shake the NBA. The Celtics are in trouble. The Heat are in trouble. The 76ers are in trouble. This is Dame time. And Alex said it best. Giannis isn't an off-ball guy. So now you're taking the ball out of his hand to put it in Dame's hand. And Dame had mentioned it in the first half season. He was real timid because this is Giannis's team. Dame's never been the second best player on the team. So Toddy mentioned it. Could they trade him? We saw Luka Doncic get traded in the wee hours of the night.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. If you're going to give up Giannis, you're going to get a haul. there's a lot of guys with a lot of capital. Toddy mentioned the Thunder, the Rockets can go get him. There's a lot of things that can happen. But I know Giannis is very loyal, but he has already come out and mentioned, if you don't win, you get traded, and they're not winning. So we'll see how far the Bucks are willing to go. So moving on, the Wolves. I mean, what would they trade? They don't have nothing to trade for them.
They got picks, I think.
Them picks ain't worth Giannis Antetokounmpo.
They're gonna ask for Anthony Edwards, and then Minnesota's gonna hang up.
I mean, we'll see, man. But